Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Thank you so much for your previous likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, why not click on that button and ring the bell so you can get notifications of whenever I'm dropping content on the channel. And now onto the topic of this video. It's Friday before the start of the new Reign of Chaos season, SX17. It can mean only one thing, it's a first look at those two new heroes. So let's get straight into the hero menu and have a look at them. So SX17, you'll see above my head there's two new heroes, King Cnut and Henry V. First thing to say about them is that they are season exclusive, so that is the same as SX16. They're going to require 34 copies to max. You can obtain multiple copies from your SX16 reward cards if you're lucky. So get recruiting now if you want. They are available. Those cards are now unlocked from this afternoon on Friday the 15th of September. Let's have a look first at King Cnut. Obviously, this guy is going to spawn 1,000 typos in most of the chat groups, and that's not going to be in a positive way. So he's a bit unfortunate with the naming, but he is a support footman. So we've just had a support footman recently in Clovis. We've got another one in King Cnut, the King of the North Sea. Let's get straight in and have a look at his skills. I've had a very quick look before doing the video this evening. So first off, usual skill 1, the extra 23,100 marching bonus. Skill 2 is a pre-battle skill, or for us old timers, a prep skill. Effective range of 3. Starting round 5, all of your footman's squads damage increases by 40%. That's pretty good. Second half of the battle, extra damage for everyone in your legion. That's pretty good, I have to say. But of course, you're going to need to then already tie him down, not only to footmen, but also a footmen hero or heroes that do a lot of damage or have skills that synergize with late battle damage. So we'll have a talk about that in combos in a bit. Skill 3, extra 50% resistance. Skill 4, extra 50% might, as ever. Skill 5, Frenzy Tides, another combat skill. This time it's 40% chance. Sorry, it's the first combat skill. 40% chance, so only, 3 to 4 times in a battle it's going to activate. This is targeting 2 random enemy squads within an effective range of 5. So this is telling me that you could actually place this support hero in any row on your squad. 40% chance to deal damage to 2 random enemy squads. The damage rate when maxed is 267%. That's okay, like 534%. It's not massive, but it's all right. And now this is nice part of it. And suppress them, making them unable to move for 1 round. So 2 opponent squads suppressed for 1 round. Suppression, of course, is the best form of crowd control, CC, because it stops them doing everything. No basic attacks, no skill attacks. 40% chance, that's the only downside. Like, so far into the game, you would hope that he was, maybe this would have a higher, maybe 50%, even 60% chance. Skill 6, extra HP for himself. It's okay, but I'm not sure you're going to put him front row. Usually your front row heroes want the extra HP, and he's giving extra resistance to the other squads and himself in the Legion. That's pretty common for a support hero. That's not surprising, just helping buff that defense for everyone in the squad. So that leads us to skill 8, Eye of the Storm. It's another combat skill. This one is an effective range of 3, and it's targeting your friendly squads again. So 60% chance, so that's better, higher percentage this time, to apply the effect to 2 random enemy squads. Restores some troop power each round, a recovery rate of 115%. So that's slightly higher than, for instance, Lawman's level of recovery. So I think you're probably looking at maybe 3,500, maybe more, maybe 3,600 troops for each row. So that's around 7,000 healing at 60% chance. Say it's activating 5 times a battle, 35,000 heals. That's pretty good. And then on top of that, there's a 50% chance, that should say percent, they're missing the percent icon, to be immune to silenced, disarmed, suppressed, confused status lasting 2 rounds. Now, it doesn't say whether this is calculated independently for each of your fellow random squads that are accounted for in the skill, or if it is a 50% chance for both of them to be immune for 2 rounds. If they're both immune for 2 rounds, and it's 50% chance, 60% chance, so it's 60%, or it's 50% of 60%. So you're looking at potentially 2 of your fellow squads, or your squad being immune for 4 rounds in the battle. That's pretty good. Overall, in terms of a support hero, so we've looked at all his skills. Overall, for a support hero, he's buffing your fellow legions with that extra late round damage. He is doing a bit of damage himself. He's mitigating some of the damage from your opponent by doing that suppression in his 5th skill. He's giving HP to himself, making him tankier. He's likely to hang around longer, which you need him to with those combat skills. Supporting the team with skill 7, and then in skill 8, some healing and some immunity, which is extremely rare skill. We see immunity in, for instance, the 8th skill of Avalanche, within the 5th skill of Liberator. So its immunity is not present in many heroes' skills. So he does, for a support hero, he is doing a lot, and he does have a nice set of skills, but he's really pigeonholed. He's not that flexible. You have to put him with Footmen, which again is going to really limit who you use, and because you already got a few favoured Footmen squads for sure, and he's only going to be, well, let's think about it. In terms of combos, for instance, for you spenders out there, King Arthur does a lot of damage later in the battle. For me, in my mind, you would have King Arthur front row, then King Cnut, and then you need a late round damage dealer potentially, which, you know, in my mind, like Cao, his 5th skill stacks and does extra damage the later you get into a battle. But it could be another hero that has a stackable damage, but it would have to be a Footman to take advantage of King Cnut's skill 2. That's the problem. If you're not a spender, obviously, again, someone that kind of would synergize with this damage later on in the battle is Liberator. So you could go Liberator, King Cnut, and then Cao for sure. Again, because Liberator gives you extra chances of immunity, and on his 8th skill, he's doing healing to the front row based on the amount of damage that the back row hero does in those later rounds. So if King Cnut is buffing that extra, helping that back row hero do more damage, then that would heal the front row more. That's my kind of whole thinking around this guy. So I'm sure people will be trying him out with a few other combos. I'm not sure any of those combos are going to be OP, but certainly if you think that this guy does healing, Liberator skill does healing, you could see quite a lot of healing from a combo like what I've just suggested, Liberator, King Cnut, Cao, if it lasts into the later stages of the battle, that is. So that's the first hero. Let's talk about the second hero, and I forgot to put King Cnut's image up. The second hero is Henry V. So the King of Justice, he is a defensive archer, so we're thinking front row straight away. Let's check out, like, obviously he's Henry V was an old English king. He's got old kind of medieval armor and a bow, obviously, because he's an archer. First skill, of course, is the usual marksman capacity, nothing new there. Skill 2, Wildfire of Wales. Pre-battle skill, so prep skill, effective range of 5. When the hero takes damage, a layer of fire will be added to the one who deals damage. So this is going to activate every time he does receive damage. And when the fire accumulates to 3 layers, so when one opponent's squad has done damage to him 3 times, it will immediately silence the target for 2 rounds and subject it to a burning status, making it take some burning damage, of which that rate will be 200% each round, lasting 2 rounds. Let's break that down. In layman's terms, each time an opponent's squad attacks him 3 times, then after that 3rd time, they're silenced for 2 rounds, and they will get a total of 400 damage done to them, 2 times 200. That's basically it. So he needs to be attacked. Again, this is another hero that needs to be attacked. So this is probably going to be most effective. But the serial attack combos do the most attacks, but then they will not be affected by silencing. So again, this could work with... He's probably going to counter more combos that actually have, I would presume, skill combos, you know, like your avalanche combos, for instance. But some of it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it all kind of works. Synergizes quite. I'm not sure. Obviously, burning damage. Immediately in my mind, I'm thinking he's going to synergize with someone like Frederick that we've just had, for instance, ranged archer who does more damage when the opponents are burning. So Henry V does synergize with Frederick straight off the bat. Let's look at the other skills that he's got. Skill 3, extra 50% resistance. Skill 4, extra 50% might. Skill 5, another prep skill. Effective range of 5 again. So in theory, what we're saying is that he could actually go on any line, any row. Now, this is quite wordy again. So, reduces skill damage the hero takes by 80%, which is big. That's at the start of the battle. So he's going to be very tanky against any combos that are doing high levels of skill damage at the start of the battle. I'm thinking usually the Sakura type combos do those kind of damage. That's Sakura type combo. And each time the hero is subject to a normal attack, so that's just a basic troop attack, the hero's skill damage taken will be increased by 10%. So that's reducing this mitigation figure, if I read that right, while his physical damage taken will reduce by 5%. So this skill actually sounds like it gets worse as it goes on, because you're losing 10%, right, of this ability, but you're only gaining 5% protection from physical damage. This effect can stack up for up to 8 layers, so that in theory, if you get basic attacked 8 times, which is usually by turn 3, you won't have any mitigation against skill, but you'd have negative 40% damage taken for basic attacks, for physical damage. So this is only going to work. This skill is only going to be effective really against combos that either do skill damage at the start of the battle or physical damage at the end of the battle. And one of the few here at most combos, serial attack combos that do have high levels of physical damage, they target their physical damage at the start of the battle. So this skill is, again, doesn't seem to be very effective in many combos. And a lot of skill-based combos build up their skill damage as they go through the battle. Just thinking off the top of my head. The only physical combo I think would be like a Ramses combo, which again is only going to be spenders are going to have that. You know, Ramses does more basic attacks from turns 3 to 6. So this would help against Ramses. I'm pretty sure that's correct. This effect can stack for up to 8 layers. When the effect stacks up to 8 layers, the hero will immediately restore some troop power. So one time, will cover 408%. Now that is huge. I think that might even be close to maybe like 17,000 troops, 18,000 troops maybe. So that's a big lot of healing for his squad. Bearing in mind he'd be on the front row. But it's only once. It's only once. So that's not one of the top healing abilities in the game. It's a decent one-off. He's doing extra damage, something we've seen from front row heroes before, but ideally for me, I still think you want them to be tanky. And he's giving extra might to everyone else in the Legion as well. And then finally his 8th skill, Wildfire Rhapsody, combat range, effective range of 3. Combat skill, effective range of 3. So yeah, you're going to have to really put him on the front row. 60% chance to deal some burning damage. So again, more synergy with Frederick, for instance, and potentially like a witch. To 2 enemy squads within the valid range. Damage rate is 310%. So that's 620% damage. That's pretty nice, and the percentage is pretty nice. If the skill Chant of Glory reaches its maximum number of layers, which is 8, remember, it will cast one more time. So that just basically guarantees that when you're maxing out that skill 5, which is most likely going to be on turn 3, maybe turn 4, if you've had some kind of CCing of the opponent before then you'll get an extra 620% damage. I don't know. I'm not thrilled by this hero at all. And in my mind, all I can think about is like archer combos. So like potentially you would put him with like maybe Witch Hunter and Frederick, where then you've got that synergy of burning. Would you put like Hunk? No, he's got to be on the front row. So you couldn't put Hunks, who also does burning, because you're gonna have you'd have Hunk on the front row. You'd have him on the front row. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like his skill 5. It gets worse as it goes on, and he's a jack of all trades rather than a master of none. Henry V, by the looks of it. Interesting. I'm really surprised that King Cnut does not have some kind of skill that is linked to the cooldown skills that we've seen in like Ashoka and whoever the other Footman hero was recently that had a cooldown skill attached to him. Was it Clovis? I think it was Clovis. So it's a bit of a strange move by the devs. I'm not sure either of these guys are going to be in OP combos. I think if I said I was going to do I prefer one of them? It depends how effective like the synergy is with Frederick for Henry. And King Cnut is so pigeonholed. Like if people come out and say that, like for instance, he is really helping King Arthur, or like pairing it with Cow or Liberator, those kind of combos, that's really working. He does have a really nice balance, and he is a really good support hero with his skill set, but it's just he would only really work with a few heroes. So I'm not sure about either of these guys. Are they going to produce another hero in the next couple of seasons that will work good with them? Potentially, that's always possible. But right now, I don't think either of them are must-haves. I just don't see it. Again, they're not flexible enough, and I don't think they do enough on a premium with their abilities, with their specialist kind of areas. So, of course, guys, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on the combos. It's always helpful to get the community view on this. So pop your suggestions in the comment section down below. Do you disagree with some of the comments that I've made? I'm sure some of you do. Put your comments in the comment section down below. And if you have liked this video, then a like and a share with any of your fellow players through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game would be very much appreciated. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.